I figured I'd just take you along. I'm going to make a quick cyanotype. I have these calla lilies. I have a documentary videographer coming next Wednesday. So I'm trying to get my exposure times. I don't usually print in October. So I have a feeling that my exposure time is going to be quite a bit longer than usual. So I don't know. I figured I'd try and see if this is fun, if this is something we want to do. Um, and you want to watch this happen. I probably won't be cyanotyping too much more, maybe a little more this weekend. I'm supposed to get some rain where I live in California. Um, but then when the videographer comes, I'm going to need to do a little pranking then. So, I don't know, seemed like a good opportunity to have the live feature and to take you on the journey with me. I'm also going to record it for my normal on my second phone, which I think I'm just going to film this directly in TikTok, mostly because this phone is maxed out on storage. So pardon me if this part's a little boring, but this should be a fairly easy print to make. I've got my cyanotype paper here. It is a circle shape that I've coated with chemistry. I probably coated that a month ago. So if you are interested in cyanotype printing and you worry that, oh, I can't coat and print in the same day, you don't have to. That's not a thing that you have to do. So I'm just going to take one stem. I've got this stem here. I think you can kind of see what I'm working with. See that stem down, and maybe I'm interested to see how these leaves will print. So I'm going to snag one or two of these. So this is mostly just a test. I don't normally pluck from like a living plant like this, so hopefully it doesn't, you know, don't do too much damage. I should grab a pair of scissors, but we're just going for it. But yeah, I saw these calla lilies. I was at the Trader Joe's and I don't know, saw these calla lilies and figured, okay, I can keep those alive until the documentary photographer gets there. And the lady at the Trader Joe's gave them to me for free. It was really nice. It's just like, good luck with your project. So thank you. So this is my print frame. This is from Bostic and Sullivan. It's pretty fancy. Mine is a hand-me-down. That was given to me years ago when I first started printing. I'm just going to fuss a little bit over how I want this to look. Think about the composition and think about the overlapping. So, this is essentially your negative. It's really, has really cool whole detail in it. And I think the leaves will be really beautiful, but this area is always kind of tricky where the stem meets the bottom of my composition. So when I put this glass on, it immediately kind of starts to crush the flower. So I'm just going to tell the flower where I want it to go. Remind it who's boss, Really pretty simple. And to see if I can just break this stem on my own. If not, I'll just give it a snip. Now I'm putting the frame on top. There you go. And then I'm gonna flip it over. And then it has these metal clamps, those hold it down in place. There's what we're working with. Take this. I'm gonna go find a sunny spot, and I think we're gonna do, what do you think? A 16-minute exposure? There's no sun. It's wild. I had to go all the way to the bottom of the driveway. Usually there's sun, especially this time of day, 'cause it's 1:30 where I am. Usually this time of day, my whole driveway is full of sun, at least in the summertime. So I'm glad I'm doing this now. Um, because when the documentary comes, they're gonna wanna record me, actually doing it. Here, before I forget, let's set a timer. What did I say? 16 minutes? It's just not very sunny, so it helps me determine, if I had to get my rolling table down the hill, it would be pretty difficult, um, to do that. So she's supposed to get here at noon, so this is the time of day we would be printing. It's supposed to be about 10 degrees warmer on the day when she comes. So I'm hoping that maybe there's just a little more sun that day, but as long as it's not raining, we'll be able to fake it. I do have a UV box. I don't really like printing with it. I don't like printing botanicals with it. I'll do fabric and things that I have to have more control or manipulate the material with. I'll use the UV box for that. I also just have my times worked out. I know what it is to print in the summer months. It's 11 minutes. And then my UV box for fabric is 20 minutes usually. So I hate doing test strips. And it just kind of slows you down, So I feel like I've been doing this for years. I figured out my times. I figured out my exposure times and what paper works for me finally. So now that that's all dialed in, I know what months I print in. So it's just kind of this funny little, oh, okay, now print at this time of year you never print in. And so we'll see. So even if it's raining and the documentary comes, it's like a short documentary too. It's like an interview and a documentary. So I'm like, we can probably fake it if we have to, but I would like to keep it authentic. I'm kind of an honest gal. I like to keep things authentic. So I don't know, but really this time of year, I'm back making clay. So I've been back working on these. I've got there's deer walking by. Um, there's this little creep. I've got a group show coming up at the little gallery where I live. So I'll probably show some of those hands and maybe some of my quilt cyanotypes. And then after that, I'm going to Mexico City, hopefully showing I'll show you guys these deer. I don't know if I can. They'll run if I do, but they're There's like a family, it's like a mama and a couple babies, and they come right up to the base of my driveway, so I can see them from the garage, but they can't really see me. They don't really care. They're pretty brave too. So, um, but anyway, yeah. So then I go to Mexico City in February, and I'm supposed to show with After Time Gallery there, which is great because it means I don't have to like apply or do a booth fee or whatever through that. But it's still a little bit up in the air if like they're going to be showing at the certain art fair. But it's also at the same time of the Material Art Fair, which is supposed to be really amazing. And I've never been to Mexico City, so my boyfriend and I are going, and it should be very romantic and very fun. So I just love being able to travel and have my art be a catalyst for that, I guess. We went to Hawaii as a family, and it was funny. It was like the first time we had traveled and not had to be like for a show or for an event or something like that. And I felt oddly stir crazy. So it's like you do, if I have something like a goal to go for, then like at least I don't know, maybe it's a toxic trait or over workaholic or something. But I'm excited to go to Mexico City and have a purpose, and then also go for play. And then I'm in the very beginning of stages of planning a show in Berlin. So with two other women at least, and maybe some other artists in Berlin. But that's very exciting. I've never shown in Europe. I think I showed in like an online gallery or maybe a couple prints or something in the UK once, but very excited to maybe build more of a network in Berlin and show with this curator, Nora Solomon, and my friend Lucia Zamorowski. So we're really just good things are happening. I'm excited about 2026, even though like it's not fully fleshed out, of course. It's good to have things in mind. But yeah, I've been making more of the little sculptures, more of these guys. I just applied to a solo show kind of locally in the Sacramento area. I don't live in Sacramento, but it's like the closest metropolitan city to where I live. So I applied to a solo show kind of out in that area. With that work, my Swimming Without Limbs work, which I showed in Portland in June, and then have kind of showed at the Trist Art Fair and a couple other locations. And it's like every time I show, oh, in Santa Cruz, every time I show stuff from that body of work, I've sold a piece. So I'm kind of like, oh, I'm like to the point where I need more to even have a full body of work. But it feels kind of weird to like have had a show and have a theme and then like 6 months later still be making work for that, even though I've had like officially had a solo show. But maybe I shouldn't feel weird about that. Maybe that's like an ongoing theme that I can keep building off of and keep working. So the solo show I applied to was for Swimming Without Limbs at this new location and of that sculptural work. So you can see the stark contrast of my sculptural work versus my cyanotype work. So, you know, but I feel like this type of work is really healthy for me to keep my mind working in the summer months. And then by the time, and then so I kind of have this rhythm now where it's like I make this in the summer and then I've shifted to ceramics over the winter and fall, which isn't ideal. It's like really sucks to have your hands wet the whole time in the winter months. This piece was actually just accepted. It's an online show, but it seems like there might be some good visibility from it. So I think I submitted like 5 of these types of prints, and the only one that they accepted was this one. So, but hey, that's better than none, right? So yeah, I'm a little bit. I guess I'm just like I feel like I've transitioned my studio back to a ceramic studio, and now I got to transition it back to a cyanotype studio for this documentary, and then I'll immediately have to transition it back to a ceramic studio. So I'm just a little off my game for that, but um thought about doing more work like this. I took a sculpture class at the community college and actually sculpted from a model for the first time ever. And so she's not even fired yet. She's just like living on my firing shelf over there. Um, but she looks at me every day and I'm like, what could the swimming without limbs work is like, I think I made all that work in like 8 months, which is really fast turnover for ceramics. So I am having a hard time fathoming how I could make this like more extensive work that takes several weeks, if not months, to make a single sculpture and the detail and everything. And then on top of that, firing, and then how would I treat them and what do they mean? I'm really trying to get out of that part of making where I feel like I have to know exactly my why because a lot of it comes to me in the process. So that's how swimming without limbs was. I just like felt compelled to make these weird, like bald alien figures with clutchy hands. And I know why I'm doing that. Like, I have a mess and all my pain is like in my hands. And I also make a lot of work about intimacy and also like motherhood. And so, like, I know why I'm doing that, but I didn't have it all, you don't have the artist statement fleshed out right away. And sometimes that can feel a little bit fraudulent, like I'm supposed to know all that already. Um, and that's probably just too many years of art school and forgetting that art is its own, like making is its own part of the process. So I'm a little bit drawn to making more work like this, but then I'm like, what's the final goal? So I'm always still kind of like that. Like, would I have a show of all these heads or busts or something? But I am working on a proposal with my friend Lucia for a show down in Southern California. And I think we're going to kind of focus on busts. But when I say busts, I think I mean more of like the kooky guy, more of this than this sort of traditional sculpture. So, and it's hard. It's hard being an artist and feeling like I have a lot in me. I have a lot that I want to make. And it's like I don't always know how to ring it in, or it really helps to have a show. Really helps to have a show in mind, to be able to build something towards. So having that solo show in June, it was like I knew I had basically a white cube gallery to myself. To The theme was up to me, like up until just a couple months before, when the gallery was like, "What are you doing?" um, and that kind of freedom is really important to me. I think I work really well under pressure and under a deadline, and it's a toxic trait of mine. But um, I definitely need to probably think about the long term. But when my transition into ceramics, I'm realizing like, and that's been hard for me to like stop printing too, is like there's such an instant gratification. I can make a cyanotype print in half an hour and have something to show, versus ceramics is such a long haul. And then it's really not a year turnaround. It's really not a 6 month turnaround. It's more of like a 2 to 3 year turnaround. And how much you have to slow yourself down and also like increase your prices. That's kind of what I realized this year. I'm like, oh, these are selling probably because they're priced pretty low, but it's great. It feels good to sell work. But how am I going to keep up with the demand, so to speak, with that kind of work? So anyway, um, I've got like less than 4 minutes till I can check that exposure. And then I have to rush and go pick up the carpool kids and go do a parent teacher conference. So it might have been silly to go live. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you the final result because I have to rinse it, but I'll do my best. But you might have to just sit here while I go out and hose it off real quick for you, and then I'll show you the wet print. And if you can handle being patient, then I can do that for you. And I'll also I'll make a note, or I'll make a better post about this specific print once it's all dry and finalized, and probably upload it into my shop because I hope it looks pretty good. And if the exposure time wasn't long enough, then I'll just accept my failure and we'll know that 16 minutes is enough, in which case I would probably bump it up to 20 and see what that's going to be like. But yeah, this is good for me to come out here and like assess the situation for what I'll actually be able to produce when I'm being filmed with a documentary crew, and also where I'm going to put all my ceramic stuff. I'm in a garage, and I am like totally at capacity. You can see it's a mess. And I've got my pedestals there, and there's sculptures stuffed inside the pedestals wrapped in bubble wrap. I've got my mobile table over here for the cyanotype printing, so that's what we'll probably film on. But then I have a table right here that has ceramic sculptures on it. So just no matter how much space you have as an artist, you always feel like it's not enough. So I might need to actually take some of these finished sculptures and maybe put them in my bedroom. But then I'm also curious, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me, for this documentary, it's like, should I showcase all of my practice, or should I try and make it look just like, I don't want to lie, but it's sort of, we're going to be making these flower prints, we're going to be talking about flowers, and then also you'll see all these like weird sculptures all around. But hey, I think most artists we have to be multifaceted. We have to make art that sells and make art that feeds our soul, and sometimes both magically end up being that, but sometimes not. So I don't know. We'll see what I decide to do. I will definitely be making a Substack post about it, about my process and how the whole documentary goes. And then she says that I'll get the footage and I can do whatever I want with it. So that'll be cool. Um, I've had like a photographer come, but not while I'm making. You kind of fake it for the camera. So it would be really cool if we can actually make something together um, on camera. That would be really awesome for me. All right, I've got 15 seconds. So I'm going to walk down and get that print and hose it off. So if you leave, I totally understand. If you want to stay and see the final result, probably about 5 more. Well, I'll come back here and unpack it, and then I'll give you the time. Okay. All right. It looks gray, so that's good. Just getting this set up again. Show you guys. So I don't know if you remember, but it was a little bit of a lighter green, and now it's that kind of grayish color. And this is how I film all my other videos. So usually I clip it on my garage, but um, we're doing a little bit different of a setup today. So I usually have something clipped above, and then very cool. I'm gonna go rinse it off. Make sure I get this video what it needs to. My cat is crawling around on the shelves, so if you hear a thud, that's what it is. Literally. But so don't eat that though. There it is. I think 20 minutes would have definitely given us more detail there. So now we know. I'm probably going to try and do another print tomorrow. Let me know if you love this and you want me to do another live. I would happily do it. The more I do it, the less awkward I'll be. So, but yeah, definitely a little on the light side. I wanted more lily detail. So that's kind of what I figured. 16 minutes. So remind me when we do one this weekend that we'll start with 20. Okay. Bye.